guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing well. So for this video, I thought that I would tell you guys what I did on my first week of NCS. If you don't know what NCS stands for, it stands for National Citizen Service, and it's basically a summer youth program where you go somewhere for a few weeks and they teach you a whole load of different things. So I thought I would go through my first week with NCS and tell you guys what I did each day. So I'm doing the 2 weeks. Originally I was going to do the 3 week, but due to COVID I couldn't. So plans have changed and what I was meant to be doing have also changed as well. So on that note, on the first day I did a lot of outdoor activities, which included mountain biking, which I did first. I did get a little bit muddy because it was raining that day, and so the ground was very muddy and there was a lot of mud splattering on me from the tyres as we were racing each other. So I did get a bit of a muddy back, but it was a good thing I was wearing an old jumper at the time compared to other people. Then the second thing we did was rifle shooting, which I have done before, but that was years ago. So I had to relearn a few things in that. But my team did pretty good in rifle shooting, as we were at least able to get some of the shots within the target, which was good. Then we did team building, which was an obstacle course that had towers of crates that we had to be on. They were stable, so that was okay. And in between them we had wooden planks, we had wooden bars to balance on. And there were some points where there was no planks at all, so we had to pass them down to each other. And there was one point where me and 3 others had to carry people on a plank from one side of the obstacle course to the other as the planks were too short. So we carried everyone one by one, and so one person sat on the plank as we carried them. But there were some occasions where we carried 2 people at once. So yeah, it was interesting as it was raining at the time and we were on a bit of a slope. So the ground was a little bit slippery, but we were able to do it. No one got massively hurt. So that was good. Then after the team building, we did archery. So we had the normal target and then we had a cup on top of that, and if you hit the cup you would get more points. So there were some shots where I was so close to the cup, but I never shot it in the end. But I did almost get a bullseye, which I was quite proud of because I used to be terrible at archery, but I've been doing it quite a lot lately, as you saw in my Centre Parks video. That was a different kind of archery compared to the one that I'd done at NCS. So I think I prefer this one because it's easier, but both of them were still fun. So yeah, I do recommend. And then the final thing that we did was paintballing. This was my first time paintballing, just as it was my first time mountain biking as well. And the first round my team won, and the second round the other team won. So it ended on a draw because we only had enough time for 2 rounds. But the first round I couldn't really work my gun because since it was my first time doing paintballing, I was listening to how to use it, but since it was the end of the day I kind of got tired and I probably missed a few things. But by the time the second round came, I knew how to use the gun because I worked it out myself. And I was busy shooting at someone because they were shooting at a friend that I made on NCS, and I wasn't aware of my surroundings and I got shot in the back. And they don't lie when they say paintballing hurts, but it didn't hurt as much as I thought it would because it was those small paintballs. I don't know if they come in different sizes, but it was very small. But I did enjoy it. So that's the main thing. And as a quick activity to end on as a whole, we did a bit of Tug of War, which was fun, but there was a bit of a disadvantage for our team as it was on a hill, so we had to keep swapping sides. So yeah, that was day 1. Now, day 2. So as a starter, we played a game called Splat. If you haven't played Splat, it is a very good game. I've played it a million times, but I don't have enough time in this video to tell you how to play it. So who knows, I might do that in a separate video, just have a whole load of games I used to play and you guys try them out, because they're really fun games to play, but you need quite a lot of people for them. And then we did a thing called Outdoor Escape, which is basically an escape room but outdoors, and there was boards set up everywhere with puzzles on them and we had to solve them, and basically the quickest team that finished solving them and got to open the main box, which was the last thing that you had to open, because you need all of those clues in order to open it, you would then win. So that was the slight difference between an escape room, because in an escape room you have to actually escape from the room, but with Outdoor Escape you just have to open the main box and then you've won. And then after that we did an activity called Finding Your Voice, where we were given statements and we had disagree and agree, and then we had to make our case. So it's basically a debating session, which was fun, and it was nice to hear people's different views, because that makes you reflect on your own views as well. So at some points people did swap sides because they were like, they make a good point. So yeah. And then the last session that we had for the day involved 2 professionals coming in to teach some of us how to walk on broken glass barefoot. So 4 of us were selected. There was a lot more hands up, but the session was time limited, so not everyone could do it, unfortunately. Otherwise I probably would have given it a go, because not many people would have done that, and you can say that you have. So they went out and trained them how to do it, because there's a certain method with it, and they did it. So we watched them do that, and then as a whole team of people as one, we then learned how to break a piece of wood, which was quite fun. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to break it, because they taught it in a way to teach us how to hit it and how to hit it quite hard so then it would break. But it was quite soft wood. It was thick, kind of soft. Hang on, let me see if I can get the wood. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, and I'm back. So this is a piece of wood that I broke. It's about that thick, and it's quite light wood. So you can see the marks where it broke off. So on this side, we wrote our fear in pencil. One of our fears anyway. And then on the other side, we wrote 5 words to describe ourselves. So I wrote creative, motivational, adventurous, empathetic, and charity. So basically helpfulness. So we had to give this to one of our leaders. So they were holding it. So one hand on each side. And then we basically had to hit the sides where the fear was written. And that way, that's when we break loose, we break that fear, we break past that barrier, and that's when these words come in. So that was the whole idea behind that, metaphorically overcoming our fears, and it's just a way to encourage us. So that was a good session. They also did a bit of fire stuff as well, very briefly though, because they didn't want to set the fire alarms off, because they do a lot of stunt acts, so that was fun to watch. I forgot to talk about day 3, so this is what I did with my team for most of the day. At the beginning of the day, we did a whole load of games because originally we were going to do money management, but plans changed, so we just did a lot of group games, which involved another game of Splat. We played a game called Fruit Salad, which involved changing seats, and we played 2 games that were fairly similar, but the rules were different, and that was Wink Murder and Mafia. So basically someone is selected as the killer and we have to guess who it is. But those 2 games are played differently, but the goal of them is to find out who the murderer is. So they're similar but different at the same time. But they're fun games to play. You've probably heard of them, you probably haven't. But trust me, they are good games. Then we planned and made our own smoothie, Berry Burst, to present it to the leaders to then be judged. And then day 4, we had a day off as some of the people within our groups were getting their GCSE results that day. So we didn't do anything on that day. So whoever has got their GCSE results this year or any years on from now, I hope that you have got the results that you want and that you need to get to the next stage in your life. And on that note, we'll go on to day 5, where we went out. We were mainly in town because town was quite close to our centre. So we were given a list of things to find or to do and do certain things. So we took pictures and we took videos of things and we ticked them off every time that we did an activity. There was like 30 activities on there, so it took pretty much all day to do all of that. But that involved a lot of teamwork, so that's a good skill to have, especially when you're going to work with a whole load of other people. So yeah, that was basically my week summed up. And on that note, I will see you guys next week with a video about my second week with NCS. And so I'll see you guys there.